Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vulnerability Time podcast. I am your host, published author, and PhD candidate, Josias Abriel. Before we get started, folks, just a couple quick announcements. One, the show is now accepting donations. We need to get a new laptop to continue the show. So I have a Cash App in the episode description below. You just click on the link tree and you can donate. Anything helps. There's this used laptop that I was looking at, and it's about $600 something. So that I will be needing to get that to. I found like the best and cheapest used laptop to be able to record the show, because the current laptop, she's dying on us, folks, and the software and the updates, it's starting to do its thing again. So if you would like to donate to help the show out, please do so. Anything helps. Also, if you are listening on YouTube, give this a like. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give this a 5-star rating. It will help the algorithm. I do need 10 more 5 stars to continue the show. So if you could please do that, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Alrighty, today, everyone, we have with us a brand new guest, Donna Hartley. Wonderful to have you on the Vulnerability Time podcast. We've had some reschedulings, but I always say, it may not be recorded when we want it to. It's recorded when it's needed to, at just the right time. So, hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's my honor to be on the show and discuss one of my favorite topics.
Yes. And folks, that topic, I'm sure you can tell by the title, is the near-death experience. So, but before we get into that, Donna, tell us a little bit about you. It's my understanding that you have a book coming out.
Okay, well, I already have 3 books out. So they're all the fire up your life, fire up your intuition, fire up your healing. So I'm taking a break from that for a while. But I was an international speaker for about 38 years, traveled the world and worked with all big companies. But I also had like the side thing that I did, which is now the full thing that I do, which is speaking on in that spiritual realm, past life experiences, near death experiences, why we're on the planet in the first place, what should we be doing. So that really was my focus now. So no retirement, it's just what you got to do, what you got to do.
Yeah,
So I'm blessed to talk to so many people that are really asking questions now about those topics.
exactly. And I love I love that that's more being talked about as Earth is extending, that's a huge sign, when these discussions are happening. For example, like the IONS conference. Did you hear about that?
I didn't.
Here in Seattle. I'll be missing it though, because the week that it's here is the week that I actually leave Seattle to go back to my PhD program.
Oh,
So
okay.
I won't be
Okay.
able to make it. But it's about near-death experiences and folks with near-death experiences, and they connect science to near-death experiences. So they're proving it through science as well. And I'm just like, well, that's good. And yeah,
So many people don't believe, but now when you put science to it,
science in it.
then they're going, okay, let me know a little bit more about this because
Yeah,
science now says, yes, look at
right,
this. Yeah.
right. And what's funny is a lot of things science can explain, but there are some things that the other side is outside that realm of science. So can't
Well
explain
said.
everything.
Well
Uh,
said. And unless you've had a near death, you don't
mhm,
maybe understand what all
right.
those dimensions are and everything. Even though you planned your life, you came in from another lifetime, you
Yeah.
still, the veils pull down and you forget everything.
You forget
So
the
now
spiritual
we're,
amnesia.
yeah, right. Yeah, that because how do you learn a lesson on earth if you have all the answers to it?
Yeah.
So that's what it
hmm
is.
Yeah.
So in this way, you get to live it, learn it, and then
hmm
hopefully never repeat it again.
Yes. So let's get started though with your near death experience. Take us through that journey. What
Okay.
happened beforehand and how did you get there and what did you see on the other side?
Okay. So I'll have breaks in between there because I had 6 times I've crossed to the other side. So people either say I was very stubborn and they sent me back every time, right? Or I went over to get some more knowledge every time. So when chose to come back, I had that knowledge on earth. So the first one happened at 6 years old, and my girlfriend Holly had just passed on. We were best friends. And I was devastated. My family was fighting all the time, it was on the way to a divorce. There wasn't enough food in my house to eat, so I got malnutrition in this world, in this society, in this country. So I was in the hospital for over a week fighting for my life in and out of that state. And that's when I crossed over the very
Mhm.
first time. And I said, I'm not going back. I am not going
Right.
back. I know I said I wanted to go to Earth, but it's too tough with this
Mhm.
whole family dynamics and what's going on. I lost my friend, and I don't want to go back.
Right.
So what happens on that side is you're never told what to do. There's these like angels and uh I didn't ever see like a whole person. It's like a hologram in some ways from like the
Mhm.
waist up. That was my experience. Okay.
Mhm.
So I have my mentors there. I have my guardian angel there. I have my spirit guides there. I have the whole family there. And they explain what would happen
Mhm.
if I did not go back to my brother, my father, and my mother. That's when I made the decision. Okay.
Yeah.
So my mother would have killed my father. She would have gone to jail. My father would have dead. And my brother would have been an orphan. And it's funny, my mother did say she would have killed my father if I'd have
Mhm.
died in the hospital. So I
Mhm.
was like, okay. But there's a veil that comes down. That's what we forget. And I
Right.
negotiated, boy, let me tell you. And I
Oh
said,
yeah.
"I'm not pulling the veil down all the way. I want to see some of the past and what some of the future." So that was my first experience. The second, that was at 6. The second followed at 16. I had opened my surgery for my heart. I've had 3 heart surgeries.
Yeah.
And my parents fought, even though they were divorced, and it was tough and went between the two of them. My father had more money. His lawyers won. He said, have the surgery. My mother's said, don't wait. So he put me in a hospital an hour and 45 minutes from home with doctors from India. I had never even seen anyone from India.
Mhm.
And I was alone. No one was there. He left.
Yeah.
So I went through my first surgery alone, but during that surgery, they must have hit like a clot, an air clot going because people are screaming, yelling, people are running in the room. You're kind of awake, and then I felt myself shoot out of my body. I
Mhm.
was above, I was looking down, everybody giving me needles, all the stuff is going on. And I felt this like white light, this energy, this protection that was calm. And it was like telling me, "You're going to be okay," as I'm watching all this chaos go on. But the white light gave me so much energy and so much love, and then I slipped back in my body. The operation was about 3.5 hours, and I remember later that day, I was up and walking around, and a nurse screamed at me. I'm 16 years old, "Get back to bed, get." Well, nobody told me anything. Nobody talked to me as a
Yeah.
16-year-old. They didn't. They waited.
Yeah.
And my father wasn't coming back for a few more days. So I still had to go through all this alone and process it.
Mhm.
So little did I know that going through some things alone like this would be my kind of gutsy that energy that I claimed. So do you have any
Yes.
questions about those?
No, it sounds very, very, a lot of things sound very familiar. Um, folks, listening who are new to the show, I've also had an NDE as well at 15. Um, and, you know, it's comforting to hear that you negotiated, right? I didn't think to do that. I didn't even get a choice to come back or not. They were because they know if they would have gave me a choice, I would have said, "No, we're not going back. Leave me
See?
alone."
Mhm.
Right? I was just like, you
It's
know,
so loving.
yeah,
It's so calm up there. Yes.
exactly, exactly. So that's actually comforting to know that you got to negotiate a little bit. I love to hear that. But no, I have no questions for you.
Okay.
But that's
Well,
just because of my own, experiences probably, so I'm not really new to the NDE, but I feel like if I was new, I would be asking a ton of questions.
the next one that came was probably my most dramatic. I'm not
Oh,
the most dramatic. Having
mhm.
my open heart was the most I did on the other side, but I was on a
Oh,
DC-10 taking off from LAX to Hawaii. This is March 1st, 1978, and I was at an all-time low. I was a struggling actress, things weren't right. I was going back to MC the Miss Hawaii pageant. I'm a former Miss Hawaii, so I thought maybe my life will change. That's what I kept saying. So I kept saying, you know, let me die
mhm.
or let my life never be the same. That's the mindset I was in for about 2 weeks before I got
Right.
on that plane. I mean, I was really thinking about suicide, but having
Yeah,
this opportunity, okay?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
go to the desk to check in, and all of a sudden I demand my seat to be changed. And I turned around to say, "Who said that?" And then when I went to walk down the ramp, I
Mhm,
could not walk down the ramp. I kept leaning against the side and would not walk. My intuition was telling me something. See, I had changed that
mhm.
flight, went back, changed it, went back. So I ended up changing it a few times, but went back to my original flight.
Yeah.
And I finally took my seat. And that's when I said, let my life change, let it never be the same. And little did I know that in a few minutes on takeoff, we exploded and burned to the ground. The entire aircraft went in seconds,
Mm,
taking off from LAX. We exploded and they tilted, and there's flames everywhere. It's amazing that even people lived. Now, this one, it's different when you talk about a near death experience.
mm,
So soon as the flight attendant screamed, like, grab your ankles, head between your knees, grab your ankles. I wasn't like saving my life. I was
right.
like, okay, I'm going to die. I mean, I saw what was coming Sepulveda Boulevard, and I
Mhm,
saw that, we were going too fast, we're going to crash.
mhm,
And he swung the plane to the one side, the side I was originally sitting on, but was not there now.
mm,
That's the side that took the worst impact because that wing with all that fuel hit and it was exploded right away.
yeah.
I was on the other side, and the flight attendant said, "Grab the ankles, head between the knees." When I went down, white light, and I felt it came
Mhm,
all around me, everywhere. So, I was in that state and all this chaos, you can hear it kind of in the background, and the screens are falling down, luggage is coming apart because the
mm,
impact of him trying to stop when we're
yeah,
going 167 miles per hour, that's right at V1 speed to take off,
yeah,
we had to stop, because we went up, we burn in the air because we were already on fire.
yeah.
So, then the flight attendant screamed, "Come to the rear, come to the rear." And this energy almost like lifted me out of my seat, walked me down that aisle. It was jammed with people. I mean,
Mhm,
normally there's one or two persons. It was like three, four were jammed. And
mm,
at the very end, I should have been able to exit, but I didn't. I fell to the wrong side of the plane.
mhm,
And now I'm facing a wall of flame. So this is another thing that happens when you're in a near death experience. You hear things through your ears. Now, we don't know if it goes in our consciousness, in our ears, who's speaking it. There wasn't anyone around me speaking it, but I
mm,
heard you were given this life. What
mhm,
have you done with it? You
yeah,
know, you can either die now or make a difference. And I screamed. Now, I don't know if I really screamed, but in my mind, I screamed, I want to live.
right.
So I scrambled back on all fours. The doorway was jammed, but there was a little opening like this, and I was able to squeeze through and get down. When I got down to the bottom, I limped away. You're soaked with fuel because you fall on the asphalt. You're running
Mm,
away. And again, the voice came and said, "You accepted this life. You
yeah,
will speak, you will
mm,
write, and you will help people help themselves."
mm,
And again, you're kind of looking around saying, where is that voice coming from? But you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth.
mm,
I mean, most people were in the hospital, the burn wards. I mean, I had some work definitely done on me and my ankle and things like that. But months later, I was subpoenaed and I had to testify
mhm,
and change safety regulations. So that was my first speaking engagement to say in front of
Mhm.
thousands and thousands of people when I was going to be cross-examined. And I didn't think I had it in me to do that. But again, that energy came to me and said, speak the truth.
Yeah.
So I was still kind of connected to that energy from the other side. And I did. I helped change safety regulations. The big visual screens you have now, they didn't have those back then. I said, why don't we have a TV, there?
Mm.
Why don't we have an evacuation? We got ropes. I mean, we
Mhm.
had slides, but the crew had a rope. And after the slides all burned, all eight, if we'd have had a rope, people wouldn't have had to jump 30,
Mm.
40 feet and, break their arms and ankles and things like that. And the tires were treaded and patched back then. They don't do that now. So
Mm.
my testimony that I spoke up, and that led me to be a speaker to help people change their attitude and shift.
Yes.
So if people look at their life, the changes that they go through or a near death experience is prepping them to make some kind of difference on this
Mhm.
planet to help you help the animals, the
Mm.
people, the environment, whatever. We all need it, but it happens for a reason to
Reason.
wake us up. Yeah.
I say that all the time. You're the first person that also says it. And that is very, very, very comforting. Very, very comforting. I say I'm like, it is so strategic.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
is so strategic. And earlier, sounds like you almost got a life review. Sounds
I
like
did.
you're
I wasn't doing too good. I was an actress, I was whining, I was complaining, and the boyfriend broke up with me, I didn't have enough rent, so I'm whining about all these little minor materialistic things when you look back at it, and then when you get in the flames and your
Yeah.
true soul has to be hit over the
Mhm.
head, you go,
Mm.
"Okay, I know what's important now." Yeah.
Right, right. Sometimes we need that little nudge, that little reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, after that, I acted for about 2 years and things went right, but that wasn't my life. I knew it. And, they sold my apartment building. I got the clue again. I moved to the mountain area where I live now in Northern California. Very small, one little stoplight in the town. I had to kind of put myself back together. Why
Mm.
am I here? What am I supposed to do? And it didn't fall on your lap. It doesn't fall on your lap after you go through this. You still have to do things. So I was a cocktail waitress. I don't even drink. So I knew that wasn't going to be my destiny, but I had to
Right, right.
find a job. And it was out of that people said, "Oh, would you come help our students in modeling and acting?" Because I had a career in LA. And that way I got to coach young people to look at it in a different way. And their parents said, "If you can change my kids' mindset, can you do that for the employees?" See, so when I was on my path that they gave me,
Yeah.
it came to me. I didn't even do a business plan. So when people say what, and I said, you got to be open for the possibilities. It's
Mhm.
there, it will show up. But if you're so stubborn, and I'm not even saying you have to go through a near death. I'm saying you got changes happening around you. You can find what you're supposed to do. But it was much later, uh, in my 50s, when I had stage 3 melanoma. That was a really an
Mhm.
experience on the other side
Mm.
because they said, "Make out your will, you won't live." I'm a single mom. I adopted my daughter,
Mhm.
and I'm going in for stage 3. You know, what happened on that one is I had a mentor named George, and he had
Mhm.
passed on. So I was saying, "George, George, I need you here. I need your strength." So when I'm laying on the table to be operated on, the guy that gives you the anesthesia and all that leaned over and a zodiac sign fell out from his neck, on a chain. And I
Mhm.
said, "What is that?" And he goes, "It's a bull, a Taurus." And I go, "Oh, my friend George is a Taurus." And I knew he was there. See, we get signs all the time. And
All the
when
time.
all the time. And when you go out, I went out, they say count back from 100, you get 10 numbers. George was the first one that met me. And I go, "George, George." And it's like a hologram. I never see kind of the full person. They look
Mhm.
younger, by the way. They don't look sick like when they went out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, you know that. They look younger and they look
Yep.
healthy and they're vibrant. I go, "George, George." And he always smoked a pipe. And I go, "George, George, you still smoking your pipe up here?" He goes, "No, I'm not." I said, "What do you miss? What do you miss on earth?" He goes, "I miss the food." I go, "George, you're supposed to be enlightened." "What do you mean?" He loved his food down here, and that was not what I was expecting, right? And so he said, "Okay." So, what I was able to see going up, and I really want people to know this fact, it's important. When I came out of my body, I looked back and I saw other, like, guardian images over my body, like above it, of course, but
Mm,
like a doctor with a doctor mask on, a swami, like somebody from India, an Indian chief. It was like they were there to protect my body and to help through the surgery. Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Do you
So
think they're
that
individuals from past lives?
I do. But maybe, yes, but maybe I didn't know all of them. Maybe
Right.
just in contact or whatever. But you're right. They are definitely, they were from another lifetime, another
Yeah.
dimension. Yeah, and showing up
Yes.
to take care. And George had
Yes.
looked at me and he said, "You're okay. You can go on. You can go on." So, um, and I was, so what happened is I felt like I was in a church, but it wasn't, had no roof on, but I could
Right.
see people on this side and on that side, and I was kinda going down the middle, and people were talking to me, but not
Mm,
verbally. It's
mhm.
telepathically.
Exactly.
Yes, you get the messages telepathically. Okay. So that's what I was getting. I actually saw some boyfriends that ex-boyfriends that apologized to me, right? And I saw some aunts and some uncles, and my mother had passed on, and grandparents. So I got to feel love from them. And then zip gone. I was on another dimension. And then I had to come back. My surgery didn't take as long as they thought, so I came right back in it, and let me tell you, I didn't wanna come out of that. I wanted to stay in that state again.
Of course.
I wanted to stay in that love. We think we have love on earth. There's nothing. Yeah, you got it.
Mhm.
See, just that you know,
Mhm.
you know. You
Exactly. It's nothing compared. I told people, I was like, imagine you on this earth experiencing so much love. And they're like, okay, yeah, I imagine it because they have so much love. And I was like, imagine that times like 1,000, times
yeah,
like 1,000,000. It is no words to explain. I even tell people, I was like, honestly, I feel like there must be another word for it. Our human language can only say the word love. But I was like, it was just so expansive. I was just like, I just kind
yeah,
of stopped trying to explain it. I'm just like, listen, I don't know how to explain it. It's just love times a trillion, and it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, and you can't explain it to anyone, but you're right, times a trillion. It is a dimension I have never felt on earth.
Mm,
And even coming back from those experiences near death, you still don't have it on this because this earth energy isn't high enough to maintain that
exactly.
amount of love and that amount of vibration on the other side. So you kind of get stuck on this lower, dense earth energy. So, so I had to recover from that. That was a tough one, recovering from cancer. Um, but this is the amazing part. After the surgery, they said we didn't find any cancer in your body. Now, understand, I was tissue specialist. I had it done at UC San Francisco, one of the top places for the cancer for melanoma. But what happened is a week before the surgery, I went to the top of the mountain, Squaw Valley, where I live with my little daughter. We were ice skating, and she looked at me and she said, "Mommy, mommy, I wish I had the boo boo in my leg. That's where the cancer was." And I
Mm,
said, "Why?" She said, "Then you would be healthy." And I said, "Hold on. I'm going to go around this track by myself." And I looked up, the big, puffy white clouds were up there. And I said, "This is the deal." I said, "There's no one that I can leave my daughter with. I don't know who. So
yeah,
let me raise her. Let me get her through high school and college and
yeah,
onto her life. Let me do that because there was no place for her to go." I said,
right.
"It's not about me. Let me raise her." And then
Mm,
I said something that I didn't make true. I said, "I promise I won't complain about the teenage years." Well, that one wasn't true because I had those tough times with my daughter. But, but, so I felt something shift on me on that mountain. It was, I can't explain it. It was just shift. It was like a clearing. So
mm,
and they called me then on Monday and said, "We didn't think we'd have an opening for 3 more weeks. We have an opening this Thursday." I said, "I'll take it." Now, so March 1st, 1978 was the plane crash. March 1st, 2002 was when I was given cancer, when they diagnosed me with it. And this was like the end of March. They said they took me in, and I was stage 3, and they did 3 procedures on my body, and they said the cancer was not here. We don't understand it. 11 days they kept my lab work. See, that's the other thing as humans. We forget that we can tap into that higher source. If we clean up our thoughts and our actions, it wasn't for me, it was for my daughter, is what I was asking for. But if we really channel, we can get help. We have to ask for help. So that was the other thing I had learned from crossing over and coming back. So I thought I was out of the woods, but 4 years later, my valve was collapsing. Remember, I had that heart surgery when I was,
Yeah.
so I was born with that bad valve, aortic valve. And the doctor said, you got to be in within like 2 weeks or you'll have a massive heart attack and won't be here. So I had to kind of pick the surgeon out of the sky, picked absolutely the right person for me in San Francisco. And he said, you're going to make it through this. I mean, it's open heart surgery is a procedure, let me tell you.
Mm.
You're down for the count for a long time because they're going to cut you open. They're going to stop you from breathing. They're going to put you on a machine. And I'm like, am I dead? And I'm coming back off this machine. I
Mm.
mean, so, yep. So you got it. During that surgery, which of putting in the new valve, I left and went to the other side. First person I met again was George. I had the opportunity when I was in college to meet my pot and pan boss, Chuck, that always believed in me. I saw my grandmother there. There was a lot of people that
Yeah.
were there that I could actually talk to.
Yeah.
And the one I had lost 1 cat and 10 friends during a 5-year period there that had passed on. So when I saw my stepdad, which I adored, I said, Daddy, Daddy, why did you leave so suddenly with a heart attack? I talked to you the one day and you died in the hospital. You were just having foot surgery. And
Yeah.
that was before the surgery. And he said, they told me I would need someone to help me for a couple months. I knew you would come home from California to Pennsylvania. And I knew at that moment you would miss your heart surgery. You wouldn't pay attention. You would just be taking care of me. So I made a choice and I died right in the hospital. There's nothing they could have done to save me. He had a heart attack in the hospital
Yeah.
and couldn't be saved because it was his time to go. So by him telling me that, the tears went away, the crying went away because I missed him so much. So I want to say to people, they're with you all the time.
All the
My
time.
all the time. My stepdad was showing, but I was in so much pain, I couldn't feel him until then. And in that moment, the pain was gone. And I know when he shows up now and I laugh and so I'm just saying to people, it's a different form of communication. So after going through that and talking to people, then I went up again and I went to what people call the ascendant masters. Now, people say, did I see God? Did I see Jesus?
Oh.
Oh, did you get that on yours?
I
Did you
only
get
got one ascended master because it was strategic because it was mine was it was very strategic, the ascended master that I met.
okay.
Yeah.
See, well, I met 12 of them. Now, if
Okay.
people want to know, did I see them? Could I see them? No, their energy is so high. For me, I didn't even see like the hologram. I just saw like little beams of light. But they gave me information about why I had to come back again and what I was going to do and that my path was going to be spiritual. I mean, I was teaching inner leadership and I did talk about meditation and intuition, but they went, you're going to do full on. You're going to do past lives. You're going to help people. You're going to help show them ascending, all that stuff. But they said the earth will change as you know it. They called it Earth Changes, which is our environment. They said Native American cultures will come back honoring the
Yes.
earth. They said we'll have a disruptor in the White House that will disrupt our whole economy. We'll have stages of civil war. And I'm like, I can't even comprehend this, understand. I could not I took it all in and I didn't argue. But they said you will know. And then you at that time you are going to be in full helping people. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay. Like I'm thinking, and my career is not going to shift. It's a good career, you know how we think, right? But they were kind of doing it. They don't tell you, they just give you that information.
Yeah.
So that was very, very, very
And telepathically. I'm pretty sure it's
Telepathically, you're
telepathic.
correct.
Yeah.
Nobody talks
Yeah.
telepathically. You get it, they get it, it goes back and forth. Yeah. So then I knew I was coming back. There wasn't even any negotiations. But when I came back, you're in ICU for a week. You're in, you're out. You're like, oh, can I go back? So I'm still getting information from the other side because I was in there for a week and then in the hospital, for a whole week, but ICU for one night. So it's like, it's real, but you
Yes.
cannot explain it to anyone else. The
Right.
depth, because the depth doesn't it's not on this earth. We are only
Exactly.
level 3 as human beings in our
Mhm.
consciousness, and I'm talking to people that are 12, 20, 50,
Uh-huh.
up there
Uh,
on dimension and
Very
knowledge
high
and kindness
dimensions.
and love and
Mhm.
wanting the best for the human race and everything. So it's it
Yes.
it it doesn't even compute. So to come back and to live in that state, it's hard, it's challenging on earth. But I knew I had that wisdom. So I thought, I am so done. I am done. I've been up there 5 times. Well, then comes the pandemic. So I hear the
Oh.
pandemic and I go, I can handle that. I've been in my house before. I've been down to the count for 2 months when I'm recovering from heart surgery and a
Mhm.
month from cancer. Well, something was wrong. Was cold. My hands were cold, my feet were cold. And I'm intuitive enough. And I went, I got to check this. So soon as you could even get into a hospital, I went in, they did the echo and they went, your valve is failing. I had to have a new valve. I had to have heart surgery again. That was 14 years after my first one. I said, I thought this lasted for 20 years. Where's the warranty? I was like so crazy. And they said, you are so active. I am so active. I do sports. I
Yeah.
snow ski. I kayak. I hike. And I go, well, isn't that the reason I have the valve in me? So they said, well, it wore out. So I had to schedule another one. And so now before I go in, I go, okay, I'm going to the other side, but I'm coming back this time. It wasn't even like a negotiation, when I was going to go in and we have to have the surgery. They did a new procedure. They go through the leg, the groins, they go down the throat, and they put a valve in a valve. So during that time, as soon as I went under, I felt that you feel like a shush. I went out. I
Yes.
went out
Mhm. Mhm.
and I felt white light around me. I ran into George, my mentor again. He's the first one. He kind of like says where I got to go. But again, I saw people over me
Yeah.
taking care of my body. And the only way I could recognize them is by they were wearing like masks like people in the United States, and then they look different with the feathers, and then the people from India and different
Mhm.
uh, kind of complexions. So, but again, it's like a foggy, like hologram. So one nodded to me, like to say, go on, we're
Mhm.
here with your body.
Yeah.
It's like they
Mhm.
were protecting me. So again, I went on to the other side, and now again, I saw some more family members and
Did
got
you
some more.
recognize all of them?
I did, I did,
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did. A few of the boyfriends, I was a little like, oh my god, I only dated you for a short time, but it was yes. Some seemed like to be in the past, but remember, I'm a past life reader. So
Mhm.
maybe someone wouldn't, but I did because I'm a past life reader. So I would go, this is like 3 generations back or 4. Foggy.
Yeah.
This is a distant grandfather. This is distant. Oh, I understand. I understood during that
Mhm.
surgery that I was cleaning up, and you might have heard of this, 7 generations for 7 years. They carry
Oh.
like a karmic lesson for 7 years. And
Mhm.
our family had all died of heart disease as far as we could go back. Irish family, okay, and a German family, both sides, mother and father died of heart disease, stepfather died of heart disease, grandfather's they went back. I was the one assigned to say, I'm going to wipe out that 7 generations and stop
Yes.
it by living.
Someone had to stand up and break it. Break the yeah,
That's right. Breaking
someone had
the
to.
karmic, yeah. So 7 generations, that's
Mhm.
what it is when people say that. So that's what I found out when I was on the other side, that was my assignment. And my grandmother, which of course had passed on, came to me there and thanked me for doing it. And then she also came to my dreams later on, and when I was back on earth, to thank me for stopping, because she died of a heart attack too.
Mhm.
So that's the end of I don't have to go out anymore. I tell my angels and my guardian angels they can come down and visit me here. I'm listening.
Wow. Beautiful story. So many things sound very familiar. Um, I'm glad that more and more folks are speaking out about this, and I'm glad more and more people are, listening and believing our stories. You know,
Well, I wanted to know why I had 3 heart the other people, like, had a heart attack and died in my family line. I was the one that
yeah,
had 3, and I said, "There's a reason now," and I didn't even get this for a long
mhm.
time. My last name is Hartley. I
That's
came
great.
in see, I came in with that. So I said when I had the surgery, the last one, I said, "Let me leave my body, but let me go to the time period where I can see where this lesson started that I didn't complete." Because I believe if we don't complete lessons, they come back to us and we have to do them in the present life, which is the most important life. So as soon as I went out, I was back in the medieval time. I was an urchin. I was stealing food. I was a young girl. I guess I was pretty under all that mess. I was barefoot, no
Mhm.
parents, and stealing in a little village. And a lord of the land came by on the horse and the procedure. And I was like struck. And he stared at me. And then the next day, 2 women came and they cleaned me up and they gave me new clothing and washed me and food. And I had one little room and I had a bed and food and a little fireplace. And I was his mistress for years to come. But this is where it gets interesting. Then I got pregnant and I told the lord of the land he would have to divorce his wife and live with me.
Yeah.
And I told him over and over again. He said nothing. And then I lost the child. I lost the child. It didn't go full term. But I lied to him. I still didn't tell him the truth. See how the karma gets built up that we have to learn the lessons. And one night I'm walking in this little village, it's cobblestone and gutters and all that. Have this beautiful green cape, velvet cape. I was given to me by him, and I loved it. And 2 of his henchmen got off the horse, and they took a dagger, and they stabbed me in the heart, and I died right there and fell in the gutter. So I died with anger, betrayal, hatred,
Mhm.
and so I had to go in this life
Mhm.
and say, I love myself and forgive myself for being a liar.
Yeah.
The Lord of the land was using me. I forgive him. I forgive the henchmen. And I forgive the town that let me just be in that gutter for 3 days before they picked me up because I was a whore and throw me in a garbage, or in a grave.
Right.
Now, when I go for my doctor checkups, he said, I don't understand this. Your heart's better than it's ever been. See, they could
Mhm.
do all the things on earth,
Mhm.
but I had to clean up the patterns or those
Yes.
thoughts inside of me. But that's what you learn on the other side. You
Right.
learn that there's no anger, there's no violence on the other
Right.
side.
Right.
There's true love. And so why are we bringing that back to earth? No, we have to bring back that true love, that honesty, that vulnerability. So that's really what I learned from that lifetime, which was pretty amazing when I
Mhm.
was seeing it all take place. I was watching it from the other dimension because that's they also can do that. And I was seeing me and running
Yeah.
around and dirty and the whole thing. And then to be honest about what you did. So
Yeah.
I want people to know too, when I've gone up there, you don't get judged.
Right.
They're not nobody
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
God is not sitting on some man with a long beard sitting on a throne waiting to judge you and so angry at you. That's not that at all. If anyone's judging you, it's yourself just looking at your life review. It's you're not in judgment how we think on it on earth is a kind of like an insecure judgment. No, on the other side you're in nothing but you're out of this human biases, you're in nothing but love, and you're able to see things so much clearly.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
You got it. So, I mean, you were there, you've had that experience, and it was
Yeah.
life altering. It's life altering. I
But I
just
wouldn't
can't
have
imagine
believed
going
it.
through this.
I wouldn't have believed it unless I had experienced it because I was never taught this. I grew up in a religious household. I was never taught. I was taught that God is on this as a male figure sitting on a throne and just angry all the time, but also loving somehow and just judging and looking forward to sending people to hell. So turns out
No.
that's all wrong.
Yeah, that is all wrong. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like and then people ask me, "Well, if nobody judges me up there, why would I come back and have a messy life?" And I said, "Well, it's not messy by their standards. You choose to
Right.
learn lessons, you learn challenges, and they don't judge you." So I say to people, I said, "If you have an addiction or
Mhm,
alcoholic, this
mhm.
is your choice. You can get over it in 5 years or you can 30 years. Your guardian angel, all their entities up there will be very happy. They will not judge you. It took you
Give me
30
one second,
or it took
Donna.
you 5." Yeah.
Ash, come here. Ash, Ash. One second, because my sister needs to hear that.
Okay.
She is she believes that she's not had a near-death experience, so I think you saying this will help.
Does she have addictions?
Alcoholism. She's in
Okay. All right.
recovery right now,
Okay,
but
good.
that
Okay.
would be
Good. Yeah, you want to get her? I'll wait.
1000%.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be visiting her today if I mean I visited her today, but if we did our episode when we originally had planned,
I
I would have
got
seen
it.
her. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, I
Is
was
that
not
why
worried.
see, it
I
happens when it's supposed to. I know.
exactly.
Yeah. I didn't
I
get the
knew
link.
it.
I never got the link, you know?
Yeah. And that's rare because it normally doesn't do that. So, when it did that, I was like, there's something. This is on purpose. Come here. Here. What were you doing? Mhm. Okay. Did you not hear me call you? I just saw your thing. Okay. Well, this is Donna. She's had NDEs. She was saying something, and I wanted you to hear her say this. So I'm gonna
Hi,
take off my
is your
earphones and put it on you.
can I see her at all? Will you get on?
Yeah. Here's the mic.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, your energy is so good. So how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay. So I want to tell you, I'm a past life reader. You're in what you call Saturn return. So everybody goes through it on the planet. Don't worry. Everybody, male, female, doesn't matter what nationality. When you hit
Okay.
about 26 to 20 to 32, if you are not on your path, the universe shakes you up to say, you got to change. So if you have an addiction, and you're not on your path and you're not living your life, then you get shaken up to say it's time to get, on your path and to succeed. So
Mhm.
you have guardian angels, you have everyone helping you on the other side. Now they don't care. There's no time zone. They say you have 2 years or 5 years or 30 years. They're never going to judge you on the other side. They're going to love that your soul no matter what. And I can see that you carry the light in your eyes. You are
Yeah.
here to help other people when they are going to falter. So, did you ever think that you were going to do that? Help
Um,
other people?
it kind of comes naturally to me, and I feel it's like something I'm passionate about. I want to be like a therapist or something
Yes.
to help
Well,
others.
you're going to
Mhm.
be something like whatever you want to call that, but you are going to help other people that have fallen down, that have addictions, that have patterns that don't serve them. And we all have those. They could be like, we stay out late at night, we sabotage, we eat bad food, we drink, we smoke, whatever. But why we go through the experience is so we can help other people because you know from your heart what you've gone through in your life. And when you speak to other people, they'll know that you're speaking from your heart.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's how you can help them. I mean, I've been through heart surgery. I've been through a plane crash. I've been abandoned by the guys in my life. They took my money. So when I talk, it's coming from that experience and the vulnerability that you have to have. So I want to tell you, I can see it in your eyes. You are on a good path now. So know that you are loved from the other side. Nobody judges you there. Don't judge yourself. So you never want to shame yourself or be afraid to go on. That's the lower part of the scale. You want to get up to courage and willingness and unconditional love. So that's where you are heading. So you are going to be helping other people on their path when they fall down. So you got a good career ahead of you. So make up your mind, go back to schooling, whatever you need to do.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Can we put this on?
Yeah. Hold on.
Get that on there. Okay. Thank you. Oh, alrighty, Donna. And after this, we're gonna close out the episode. But if you could stay on for like 2 more minutes, I wanted to ask you something.
Okay.
Um, alrighty, folks. Well, what a lovely episode this has been. Thank you so much, Donna, for coming on. And I am speechless, and I can't wait to release this episode. I'm gonna be releasing this episode sooner than expected, so expect
Okay.
it with probably next week. I'll be communicating
Okay.
with you
Good. Well,
and
and if
letting you know.
anybody wants to know anything about me, it's under my name, my website, donnahartley.com. I know you'll put that in there and they
Yes,
can
thank you
contact
for
me if they have
reminding
any
me
questions.
though
Yeah.
to
And
mention episode description.
yeah. And it was an honor that you are doing this. You're doing this at a young age. I mean, you're destined to help people too. So we all find our ways. Doesn't matter if you have two people or help thousands or hundreds of thousands. It just
Exactly.
matters that your heart helps other people. That's really the bottom line message. And I want people to know that everyone's loved and everyone has a guardian angel. Everyone
Everyone.
has a guardian angel with them guarding them all the time.
Yep.
So, and sometimes we listen to that guardian angel. They send us little messages, and you meet the right people, you get the right job. It's like, say thank you to those guardian angels because they're there.
It's so beautiful. Exactly. You are all loved, and how I usually end my show is, folks, if no one today has told you that you are loved, allow me to be the first, and please allow yourself to be the second. You are deserving and worthy of love. Alrighty, and check out Donna's information in the episode description below. And I will see you on next episode for whatever that will be.